Good morning.
Dang, what happened? The whole bottom of QQQ fell out.
Let's see. We got Jeff. We got Justin, Bear. Good morning. How are y'all doing this morning? See, everybody's freaking out.
St. Patty's Day picking up
Say what?
some green.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was able to add the NASDAQ to our daily trade log. So we'll be tracking that. It's 7:30 now. I need to track it again. I've been tracking it since 6:30. For the most part, what I'm looking for is recovery from market close yesterday, going into today. And from that point, the VIX looked like it dropped about 1.5%, which is a good signal. For the most part, it's up only 2.83%. So,
You gotta turn your screen on.
oh yeah, I'm sorry.
And your speakers are loud.
My speakers are loud.
I can hear myself in somebody's computer.
It's probably mine. I think I had noise cancellation on yesterday, but I turned it off because it was causing issues. Let me see if I can get that back running. Or I was having issues.
Morning.
Morning. Let's see. Let me get that fixed real quick. Oh, no, it's on. Noise reduction, echo reduction's on. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear that first thing in the morning.
I've already heard it once this morning. I have the same alarm.
What's that?
I have the same alarm to wake up to.
Yeah. Trying to decide if I'm gonna have to take my daughter to school, if my wife's gonna get up this morning. So something that I saw yesterday that was a little bit different was the NASDAQ was the only thing red going into pre-market versus the S&P. Oh yeah, I have to let me upload this real quick. I did some updates last night. I am able to track our option trades better now using the API, so I'll be tracking those moving forward, and we can have a performance scale on them. Identify the mistakes that were made by going back and looking at previous trades, and also determine where we optimize the most on our calls. Give me a second. Let me get that set up. I'll get that uploaded to the side here. Yeah, I see a lot of people in a frenzy. But I mean, we've hit these levels within the last week, so I'm not really too much concerned myself until I see us dip further below these levels. I know that the QQQ is pulling back as a pre-market, currently sitting at 310.40. But on the 19th, we actually got to 309.68. So if anything, all it did was readjust the compression zone that we've been trading in so far. And I will zoom in on that. I was pointing that out to some people earlier. But on the 19th, we saw the same type of price action. So I'm really eager to see how we open up. If we open up down, then I'll just close my calls and drop in some puts and ride it to 300. So I don't have any concern myself personally, as much as I'm seeing across the board. That's why we're doing this, is so that we can figure out how to make it through market volatility like this. And I feel like it's that's not setting in very well in the thought process of these days come. And I think these days have been coming for some time now. And it's kind of been what I've been talking about for the most part. And most of our pre-market sessions in coffee and stocks is there's market corrections still left to occur. So now that some of us are more familiar with using options, we can utilize that to deal with these market pullbacks. We're coming up on a support level for the SPY at the 385.23. I want to see how it reacts there. I think 386 was a key level as well at one point. But I'm doing all this to bring some comfort in times of trouble, and I don't feel like that's resonating the way I wanted it to. But you can only do so much. I did say yesterday that yesterday was going to be a telling day on how we were going to be trading in these trends, and for the most part, we're sticking true to the longer time frame that we've been in since the beginning of February. And that's why we identify these levels, just so that we know our ranges to trade within. Of course, yes, we lost some money yesterday, but as far as to my recollection, it was only 2 bad days out of 17 so far. So, a lot of people might look at that differently. I'm not really stressing, because I know what I can do with nothing. And that's what I'm trying to help you guys build, is confidence in knowing that whichever way this market goes, you could still survive through it. And if anything, I think this is a setup on the retail investor. If you really think that institutions are just going to let the markets take a dump forever, then, the only way they make money is by shorting the markets, which is half of what we've been doing. So either you can follow suit or you can pretty much get ran over. Simple as that. So, honestly, I need another cup of coffee. But let's see where we're at. Haha. Call today. Give me a second, guys. Much rather wait. We do have job numbers coming out today. We have, actually, they just came out. Let's see what they're looking like.
Probably why it went down.
Hmm?
That's probably why the market went down.
Yep. GDP quarter over quarter was actually 4.3 versus 4.1 expectations. Prior was 3.4. Initial jobless claims was actually 684,000 versus 730,000 expectations. Prior was 770.
Yeah, but where do you see the expectation? What they're telling you now?
Yeah. That was the report that came out.
Tell me the expectations ahead of time, not with the report.
Is this what you're talking about?
I think that Suez Canal backup has anything to do with this shit too, does it?
I don't. I mean, that's a freak accident, and
I know, but there's just so many container ships backed up on both sides that nothing's getting through there. That's gonna affect the market.
I wouldn't disagree with it. looking at it from that standpoint, but I just don't think that it would weigh down on the U.S. Like, I don't know, just my personal opinion. But I was keeping up with that situation that was going on.
I'm just thinking it's just one more thing to add to everybody's stress factor and a lot of the new people in the market
Yeah.
freaking out.
So Jeff, you were saying tell you the numbers, the expectations before the report.
So the deal that I feel, can you turn your speakers down?
Yeah. There you go.
So what I feel is that they come out with this expected, number or whatever, but they always say it with the report instead of telling us what the expectations are ahead of time, because it's always an expectation then. Like they always make it seem better when it's not better because they're hiding the expectation number.
Well, it might be that it's third. Look at double tap at IG models. I think I heard you say, Rosenberg, she is 5 years older with 2 kids. Correct. So there's that part. Right. And so she might be insecure. And you can get the better of her.
Who's got the radio on?
I muted him. There we go. Put my headphones in too. I'll give him an opportunity to. Hey Muggs, do you mind turning your mic on mute? Muggs Parker. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I agree with you too on that, Jeff. And then there's a lot of times that you'll see that the report is revised as well. So, I mean, but regardless, the numbers are better than the prior report, right? So they're going down overall. GDP growth quarter over quarter is much lower than the previous quarter. We were at 33% and we're currently sitting at 4.3. So, like I said, even I think we still have the Fed speaking. Good morning, Rich. Good morning, J-Dub. I see you guys on the stream. Even if things reverse, I'll just close my calls and go snatch some puts real quick, and ride it down to 300. Still the $10 drop. For the most part, I could get about the way I've been running. Let me see if I can get my risk profile up real quick and just analyze some trades with you guys on if we go the opposite direction.
I don't think those calls are worth much anymore, if anything.
If I get back to 315, then I'm back positive. Which we saw the same type of price action last Friday. And we rebounded all the way back up to, I think, 324. I'm not even expecting it to go that far, but it would be nice. If we hit 324, then I'm looking pretty nice. But if we hit 319 again, just to be gracious about it, I'm still going to be up from where I was down yesterday. 317s, I'll still be profitable, about $400. 318, same. But, we have till the 31st too, and the calls that we made were, I think, 317, 318, and 316, 318, 317, something like that. So
I got a 316 and a 314.
got you. Let me see what were they. Yeah, we got 315, 316, 317. So, and I have 3 315s. I have 2 317s and 1 316. So, looks like I'm probably gonna hop out of these RMO warrants today. I mean, I've lost so much of those right now, but I didn't throw much at them either. It was just a test run to see how they work out. So yeah. Not really stressing myself personally.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of mine too.
Yeah, and just flip, just go the opposite direction. So, and that's if we keep going down for one. But I really want to see how the open is first before I make those judgment calls. I mean, since 7:30 we've picked up some some traction. So it's 7:42. That was only 12 minutes ago. We're sitting at a -3. We sat at a -5 all day yesterday on our overall scorecard, and then we finally ended up at like a -1. So maybe we'll, that was what, 6 points. Maybe we'll end up +3 at the end of the day. I don't know. I don't really try to judge that scorecard and where it's going, outside of the fact that once it hits like a -7, -9 area, I know we pretty much bottomed out the worst we can, and the only way is up from there. We haven't hit those numbers yet, so there's still some room to the downside. I'm not denying that. I'm just not freaking out, you know. Once you start getting emotions involved, we make bad decisions. So, but that's why we're doing this once again. But looking across the market, I heard something about crypto is getting burnt out. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. It's down to 50,000. And there's a support level around 194 that it needs to stay above. Tesla was down to like 618 last I looked this morning. Probably further than that now, 605. Let's see where Microsoft is. We've been following that for the NASDAQ. It's probably at 235. Yeah, 235. So it's not far down. Let's look at the SPY. I think the SPY actually just broke a support level in itself pre-market. But, you know, the more and more that I held discussions yesterday, I think Carl was on point with assuming that this is just a shakeout, you know. I think we're actually coming up to a support level at 385.23, so maybe we'll rebound off of it. I don't know. It's pretty oversold though, even on the 30-minute time frames. I think the 1 hour is going oversold itself. So it looks like we might bounce right off of these levels that we're on. That's on the SPY, of course. Let's see what the QQQ looks like on the 1 hour. Yeah, it's been oversold going into pre-market. So I'm looking forward to seeing a rebound off of these levels actually, which is what I was alluding to back to the 19th. Sorry again. Which was right here, where we saw the same red candle going into open, and we rebounded, right where we started at, and from there we continued riding back up to the 320s. We are out of that compression zone that we've been paying attention to, sticking true to the longer term trend. But that doesn't mean we can't retap those top levels again before we head to the bottom. I mean, we're still higher on the trend, and that's why we did puts going into Monday. Of course, the markets went up on Monday, and now they've come down to the price ranges we were targeting. I think this is just going to build up a lot of pent-up demand, and the first sign that people see a reversal in the markets, they're going to try to jump in real quick, especially people that don't utilize options to hedge the markets when they're coming down. They're going to just jump into their equity shares and just keep running. I'm not sure. I can't speak for millions of people, but
What's TLT looking like?
let's see.
I'm just going through security, so I'm not watching.
No, you're good. It's topping out at 138.26. I see the VIX. Looks like it's pretty high on the RSI itself. The VIX just broke above 2150 levels, which was somewhat resistance for it. Sitting at 22.1, but I mean it's been below 20 for the past week or so. Which it hasn't really sat below 20, but I think a few times since the COVID pandemic hit. I'll definitely be watching the VIX moving forward to determine volatility, but I mean there's still some levels it has to get past before I have any concern based on what the VIX is showing, which are closer to the 23.5. So just gonna keep watching it. There's nothing I can do about my calls right now until the market opens, and I'll still have money to play with to keep it going to the downside. Now, if we break further support levels, which honestly, if I was looking at the chart, support level I'm watching is right near where we're at 309.69, then yeah, I'm flipping flipping my calls to puts, and I'm gonna ride this down to 300. $10 jump with the way I'm trading can recover my entire account in a day. So I understand that, but it's not like it's the end of the stock market and that there's not opportunities to still capitalize on. I see some people falling out of the group challenge because of concerns, and I understand. Like, we were green all last week. We took 2 red days out of this week, and we're just now going over hump day. So, still have 2 days to recover whatever we lost. Like, I don't know. I just feel like investor sentiment is just broke through the floor and is sitting in a grave, and people are just so down. But this is what we've been looking at. Like, I don't know. I don't understand it to some degree. Did you hear QQQ paid off dividends yesterday? We had been talking about that earlier in the week, that I believe that was coming up. But with the overall markets performing like this, J-Dub, I don't really think that had too much to do with it. Actually, it should have been done last week. So you're saying that it should have been done Friday, on the 21st. I mean, excuse me, which was Monday. So I don't know about that. But this is when things like our spread tracker can come into play, where we can see where stocks have fallen and what their key levels are, and identify things we can hold on to. Wednesday weirdness. Agreed. I've actually had my worst days on Wednesdays, based on my trade tracker. So, and Thursdays are second to that for me, just to be transparent. But it's not like my mentality's dead because of it. I'm not gonna make myself feel any less, like, I don't know. I just feel like this is a big wake up call for people, and they don't know how to handle it. So, but I'll keep tracking it. I'll keep running it. Looks like we pulled back a little bit, although the overall has picked up some.
See, Tesla raised the Model 3 price twice this month.
Really? You think that has something to do with why they keep going down?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they just broke through another support level at 607.80. Funny thing about it is I could actually probably afford some Tesla puts right now if I really wanted to, but I should have did that yesterday. With the markets pulling back as hard as, and it only pulled back 1.73%, 1.878% or something like that, or 1.8 on the QQQ, and we're talking about 10% corrections coming in. Somebody made a good point on the Facebook chat. Just wait until that happens. But anyways, what was I about to look at? Oh, Tesla. I wanted to see what their options look like. I know they're retarded. I actually could buy one. Huh? Are you going to be in Carline? Yes. I'm about to take you here in a minute. In a few minutes here. Which, for the first time in a while, I've seen more open interest in Tesla puts than I have in calls. Of course, they're taking a dump. Well, no, there's still some heavy sentiment on the call side. That's shorter term, too, so I'm looking longer term now. And that's where the numbers really start picking up. But, anyways, I guess it would be redundant to ask if there's any stocks you guys want to look at this morning. Or rhetorical, excuse me. I'm just gonna keep watching the QQQ and see what it does. And again, that's why we only put 200 into this challenge to begin with. So it was a low risk game for all of y'all. Of course, I'm losing. I lost $1,300 yesterday, and it doesn't make a difference to me because I know I can make $1,300 back today. I can make $700 back today. I can make $300 back today, and that's fine. A mistake we made yesterday, we should have jumped out when we had the opportunity to, when we bounced back above 318. And honestly, the indicators were showing that we were going to continue going up. We just hit an EMA rejection, and once it hit it, it's like the algos kicked in, and that was it. And you're trading against algos, it's like one of the hardest things I think we can accomplish, but at least we have a tool set to at least try to battle that. Because if you look at the 1 hour, it's just insane in the large red candles that we were seeing yesterday. I mean, everything just let the bottom go. If this thing would work properly. So it looks like we're bouncing off that 309.69 support. We have some large gaps to fill. We have a $3-4 gap to fill on the 1 hour. And for the most part, we filled those gaps for sure. We filled a gap all the way from Monday from the 314, what is that, 313 areas. I think it was like 313.83 where we finished out last week, all the way back to the 315s. So that's a $2 jump. Right now we're looking at a $4 to $5 jump that we have to fill just on the EMAs. So Tesla bag holder sentiment is stronger than even GME. Yeah, I agree. It's this whole notion that stocks only go up is the problem. It's not the case. And whether or not you feel as if though you now have the tools to battle the fact that stocks do not only go up, then, you know, it's for you to decide. I've done my best in trying to deliver them to you and practicing this with you enough to help you build confidence in your own trading, even when your entire portfolio is red. And I mean, that's all I've been seeing. My entire portfolio is red. Everything in my chart's red except one stock, and that's most likely because it had a catalyst or something. But if you knew how to use options, then you could work against that. Look at the 10-minute real quick.
I think I'll probably end up holding like all because it's so extended down. I mean, even if we stay in the downtrend, it's gonna have to rebound up at some point.
Right. Which we were already discussing holding these until Friday anyways. Now, if we see signals of not holding it until Friday, I mean, it's so compressed down. This is nuts. We're down almost $10 to the point, like on point $10 on the QQQ alone. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a slow burn. If they're really trying to manipulate the markets and kick, like I said in the chat in the discussion yesterday, before it used to be stockbroker against stockbroker, and now it's stockbroker against the public, and that changes the whole dynamic of the game for stockbrokers. So yeah, they're gonna slowly bleed you dry if you let them, and we haven't taken losses yet until we sold them. So I'm just down right now. I didn't say I was taking a loss. There were people that jumped out. That's different. You only lose when you sell it. And we have, what, 6 more days for this to happen? NEO sold $31 million of factory equipment to Tesla. That's what I heard, that it could have affected the price a bit. Okay. Well, I'm not saying that's not the case. J-Dub, I see you on the YouTube chat. I'm trying to keep up with that. I need to look at the multi-stream to make sure nobody's on Facebook or anything. I don't think they are.
Hey, Tim.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, would you mind humoring me and maybe taking a look at Live Nation today?
Yeah, what's the ticker?
LYV.
LYV?
Yep.
I'm actually gonna have to go here. I'm gonna be on the Discord call, but I'm gonna hop off of the YouTube stream. Let's look at it this way. I mean, for the most part on the daily, it's riding on that bottom 55 EMA, and for the most part, a lot of these stocks are, with the exception of Tesla, breaking through every support level it has. Well, let's see. It looks like it's pretty much bottomed out on the. Wait, these are the lower time frames. Let me pick this up. 4 hour. And then it still has some room to come down. Are you guys trying to find an entry potentially on it? That's what we're looking after.
I've been watching that stock for a while, and I've just been practicing my analysis game.
Okay. So what I would
I'm
pitch.
at work and can't really look at the chart, so I'm not saying anybody do anything.
Yeah, got you. I would pay attention if it continues pulling down, which it could have a EMA fake out on the 4 hour. But if it does continue pushing down due to the markets continuing to push down, then watch out for the 77.73, which is almost where the 180 sits, which is actually around the 76.86. So maybe it'll dip down to that 180 and then bounce back up on that support level and continue pushing higher for you. Beyond that, I would look at continued support lower about 65.91. Where you could potentially hop in this. They had earnings, which looks like they sold into earnings and then rebounded off of earnings report. Looks like it did some justice for the stock itself. And then if you were to hop in on some options on this, you have a now $13 spread. If it comes down to 777 or 77.73, then that just widens your spread to look potential. Jesus, I have so many alarms. I'm gonna have to go here on YouTube, guys. So I see some people just joining us. I don't know if you want to wait for just a second. I will be on the Discord call, so I will be able to talk through that. I just won't be on the screen. But yeah, that'll just widen your spread to about $16. And if you're buying in the money calls, then you can multiply that by 50 on the rebound. And that's your potential profit margin on some calls shorter term. And of course, it's all about whether or not the market's reversed or not. So let me hop on the call on my Discord. And what I can actually do is switch my display capture on. And I'll just leave it right here. And we'll watch QQQ because a lot of us are following those calls. And I'll push my audio through the Discord call. Right.
So I needed to gain this experience, so I do something different. Yeah. So then I
Was Biggie outside? Was Biggie outside?
Wouldn't I do? Let me hop back on the Discord call here. Let's see, is there anybody